Hello there, Pacific Trail Scouters. Mike Volts here one more time. This time I'm here with sort of a companion video to the ones that I've been creating recently to support charter renewal here in late 2021 going into the calendar year of 2022. Today I want to discuss something that I've talked about a number of times, but it's kind of buried in other places. And I want to create something right here for all of you that is sort of a synopsis, a compilation of all of one topic in one place that I can point folks to. And the topic, don't groan, is Journey to Excellence. So let's just dig in real quick and get this kind of out of the way because it's a good thing and we should be doing this as units. So Journey to Excellence has a long history. When I was a scout back many, many years ago, it was known as the Quality Unit Award. And ever since it was first came into being, as far as I know, it's been designed to encourage success and reward doing the right thing at the unit level, essentially, for unit leaders and all that kind of stuff. So it was the Quality Unit Award. It was renamed back in 2007 to recognize the centennial anniversary of Scouting, and then it was totally retooled and renamed again in 2011. And it's actually a pretty good program. So what is this thing? Why do we do it? Well, fundamentally, it's kind of a self-evaluation that we as individual units and unit leaders get to do for ourselves and our program. It's an annual report card, you might think of. So units can and definitely should use this to take a quick look at the end of the year at how things are going. How is your program? How are the business things in the back end going? Are your scouts advancing? Are they going to summer camp? All that sort of thing. Does your unit have a good succession plan for its adult leadership? These are all reflected in different goals that are set. So it can give you a really good picture, whether you're a pack, a troop, or a crew, of where you're at, where things are going really well, and also along with that, where things could see some improvement potential. Every year, the unit scorecards are modified slightly, usually, by National Council. So make sure you're looking at the scorecard for your current calendar year. Now, as I record this in middle of October 2021, I have not seen any published JTE scorecards for 2022. So it's something that I'm kind of keeping my eyes open for, and I expect to see that, I hope, from National Council over the next month or two. JTE is traditionally submitted with the charter renewal process. But as most of you already know, if you've been watching my other videos, that the charter renewal process this year is completely digital. Well, guess what? JTE is not. JTE is done on a PDF form, or usually printed and numbers are circled and added and all that kind of stuff and handed in. So we're going to come back to this in terms of how you submit that, at least for this year, and this might be the case for years going forward. We'll see. But please know that a unit's score, and this is important detail, a unit score is measured not by the program year, not by your fiscal year or anything like that. It's measured by the calendar year. So it starts January 1st and ends on December 31st. So when you're looking at how many service projects we did my scouts advance, those are the bookends for any JTE year. This slide set was originally designed for a pack presentation for Cub Scout adult leaders, so there might be a few bullet points that are specific to packs. I'll try to call those out. So let's go ahead and dive into packs. You have 11 different goals on your Journey to Excellence form, and a lot of them are really straightforward. And the thing to keep in mind here is that very much so at the pack level, the adult leadership really needs to drive this and it functionally earns it. But everybody gets to wear the patch and be proud of that. So you'll see a lot of building, retention, the Webelos to Scout transition, advancement, getting your scouts to camp, doing things outside, whether that be summer camp or just pack camping or whatever. Service projects, making sure that your dens and your pack meet on a regular basis. There are little points in here about your committee meeting on a regular basis. Those are all good things. Trained leadership and a succession plan. Now, when I push this button and it goes to the troops, you'll see very, very little change. Here we go. It's almost the exact same 11 goals for a troop. There are a lot of details that are different if you get into the nitty-gritty. Things like youth leadership, patrol method is one of the big ones because we don't have patrols in Cub Scouts, so that's going to be different. The Webelos to Scout transition is still there. It's just from the other side, right? You're looking at it from the troop side, not the pack side. So very, very similar set of goals. Now, if you're a venture crew leader, they are a little bit different. There are 9 goals, and they're even more focused on adventure, of course, as a venture crew might expect. Youth leadership, retention, building, service, all those things. Since venturing is such a different program, it has a fairly different set of goals to go off of. So, a couple of things to keep in mind here as you go. There are 3 different levels for each of these goal areas: bronze, silver, and gold. Now, there are a bunch of awards in scouting where silver is the top honors. The silver beaver is a pretty good example of that, and there are a bunch of others that basically are trimmed in silver or have silver decorations or something that essentially it's kind of a military thing where the silver is the highest. This is more along the lines of Olympics. Bronze to silver to gold is the highest. And for each one of those goals, you want to strive to earn gold in each one. And then as you go through, you add up all the points that you've earned and check to see how many of those goals you actually scored points in, follow the formula, and you either earn overall JTE, bronze, silver, or gold. The numbers here at the bottom of this page are, I believe, for packs specifically. One of the things to keep in mind, and this is really important if you've never done this before, or it's been a long time, or you're asking yourself, Trinity to Excellence, what? It's okay. If your pack right now looks at this, or your troop or your crew, and you realize, oh my gosh, we've missed a couple, we're going to get bronze, it's not a big deal. It's okay. Again, use this as a scorecard, as a report card for going forward. Where can we do better? Where are we doing well now? With that all stated, earning JTE Gold is not as daunting as some folks might think. There are a couple of things that you can do as unit leaders to really encourage and facilitate your units earning JTE Gold. Encourage your youth and prioritize rank advancement is a pretty big one. This is, again, to a certain degree from the pack perspective, where we really want to usher those scouts through the ranks every year. It's a different perspective when you're talking about the troop and the crew, but to encourage rank advancement is really a good philosophy to bring to this. Have your unit participate in service projects and get those projects logged into the online tool. Get those scouts to summer camp. Every single one of those, if I remember right, has some sort of a minimum percentage of scouts that go to summer camp within your unit. Trained leadership is big. Adult leadership primarily, but there's also youth leadership as you get into troops and crews. If you are a Cub Scout pack, make sure you have those summer activities. Strive to earn the National Summertime Pack Award. That actually gets you quite a few points, if I remember right. For troops, having that year-round program where you're camping at least 9-10 times a year, regardless of the weather, put a jacket on, get out there and do the camping. For packs and troops, connect with your pack and troop partners and make sure that those Webelos have an Arrow of Light Scouts have a place to transition to once they finish the Arrow of Light. Do your best to do some recruitment every season. Don't just wait for scouts to show up at your door. And then every year have some sort of, or maybe more than once a year, have an annual planning or regular planning meeting where you talk about and discuss the budget, the calendar coming up 6 to 12 months out, leadership, and make sure you have a succession plan for your adult leaders, and take a look at your youth leadership if you're in a troop or a crew. What's coming up? What are your challenges? Why does JTE matter? Well, one of the things I like to tell people is that folks in the know might actually ask you about your JTE score before they join your unit. And this happens occasionally at something like a Webelos Woods event here in our area, where we have a whole bunch of troops and they're putting on a show, if you will, for the Cub Scouts. And you might have a parent come up and say, hey, how'd you do on JTE last year? Yes, it's a little bit of a pointed question, but you might still get it, and that's okay. You should be able to answer that, especially the Scoutmaster, the committee chair, something like that. Especially with a pack, but this is true with troops and crews, that primarily this is earned by the adult leadership team. Everybody gets to celebrate in achieving something, and there are patches to be worn. You can be proud of your unit's accomplishments. Ideally, especially in a pack, this effort is somewhat transparent to the scouts. With the troop leadership, I could see bringing JTE to a PLC, maybe a planning meeting, something like that, and say, hey, we're going to make sure that we hit some of these things, and give the youth leadership a little bit of agency in earning that. But primarily, we look at things like budgets and adult leader succession plans. It's going to be spearheaded by the adult. Most importantly, it really shouldn't be a chore. It should be a goal-oriented way to improve your scouting program. Another reason why it's really important is that it does filter into some of the Scouter award requirements, especially Scouter's Training and Scouter's Key. And these bullet points here are specific to Cub Scout packs, but I think they're very much mirrored, especially in the troop versions of these training awards. To earn the Scouter's Training Award, you have to there are 2 requirements where you have to be in a unit that earns JTE for at least 2 or 3 years, depending on what you're looking at, and Scouter's Key is the same. I think Scouter's Key, the minimum is to earn silver for at least 2 out of 3 years. Please note, for those of you who are supporting Den Leaders and earning the Den Leaders Training Award, JTE is not a factor in that, so that's kind of its own thing. Set of resources for you here. Basically, National's JTE site is the best place to go for answers and updated scorecards. Know that this filters up from the unit to the district to the councils. It doesn't filter down, it filters up, which is really a different thing because districts serve units and councils are comprised of districts. And you can go take a look at all of those different JTE forms and how they apply and bring those to your next meeting and say, hey, what can we do to really improve our unit? Can we look at these goals and use that as a set of guideposts? So for this year, if you are watching this in October of 2021 or similar, and we are launching ourselves towards charter renewal here towards 2022, the submission process this year, I believe, is going to be mostly digital. If you happen to catch me in person, say our December roundtable is expected to be in person, I hope, you can hand me your JTE form right then and there, and I will sign it and submit it to the right place. If you don't see me in person, you can scan your JTE form and submit it to me as a PDF file. That would be fine. After you've circled everything, done the math, and had your unit leader and your committee chair sign it, you could even try taking a picture and email me or text it to me or something, and I'll try to make it work, okay? I really want to encourage all of our units to at least give it a shot, go through this process. It shouldn't take too long. And just see where you end up, see where things are, and that'll give you a good roadmap for how to go ahead and make improvements. So with that, I want to say thank you, and I hope to hear more from all of you soon. Take care, and we'll see you again.